You are now entering the world of Musings of a Geek podcast network. Stay geeky, my friends.
Coming to you from the Bob Studios, it's the History of Bad Ideas podcast with your host, Jason Brigger and Jeff Now.
Welcome to episode 14 of the History of Bad Ideas. I am Jason.
And I am Jeff.
And coming at you, we are still on the Musings of a Geek network.
Still, they haven't kicked us off yet.
They have not kicked us off yet. And we even have an intro from them.
Yeah, they liked us so much, they let us put their intro onto our show.
And let's just say, 14 episodes ago, we didn't even have an intro.
No, now we've got
two.
Yes. But
So look at us go.
Look at us go. And also pay attention to some of the other great podcasts that are on the Musings of a Geek podcast network.
Pretty much everybody we are friends with and shouted out to before we were on the Musings of a Geek network, they're now on the network. Green Up is up there.
Yeah.
We got
Best of the Worst movie podcast.
We got Graphic Novice just joined them.
All right.
And then, so like I said, there's those three already are up there. I know that we got social hour.
Arkham Social Hour.
Thank you. So I'm not even into my first drink and I'm already stuttering. But no, they're a great network. We're on it. We're excited to be there. And anything you need for news that's geek, anything about Comic Cons, great podcast. We even have a blog on there. Did you see that, Jeff?
Yeah, I saw that.
I wrote the first blog.
I need to respond to your blog.
Yes. So it was an intro blog. So if you've been listening to us for a while, still go there. You might learn something more about us, about how excited, Jeff is about the Time Machine with Guy Pearce.
Oh,
he loves that movie.
Love it. Everything to do with that movie.
Love it. So there you go. Just want to give that. Also, quick other thing. You can find us on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast, on Facebook at History of Bad Ideas Podcast, and on Tumblr. And you can email us
at thehistoryofbadideas@gmail.com.
So there you go. But yes, check out Musings Geek Network. That will get you to everybody's contacts, and it's a great site. We're excited to be there. So let's go on to the first thing, and this episode is going to be more standard than the last episode. So not too many spoilers, so there you go.
They'll still come out.
They'll still come out, yeah. First thing, listener feedback. First, Doug, number one fan.
Number one fan, Doug.
He did get a tour of the studio.
Oh, he stopped by.
Yes, he did. He actually did get the first tour ever of the studio. So
he wants to know where the swag is. That's the swag right there.
Doug, you made your own. I mean, I'll be honest. You need to pass that out here. So make a couple more. So there's the swag. We'll get it to you. I'm hoping end of summer. What do you think? Maybe?
Maybe. Hopefully.
Okay. Let's see. First thing is Doug asks, if you're adding Ant-Man, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Black Panther and Vision to the Avengers, the movies, which one of the original cast do you take out for Avengers 3?
Iron Man.
He signed, though.
He signed for Avengers 3?
Yeah.
Well,
Robert Downey Jr., unless you kill him.
Yeah, they might kill him or write him out in that movie so the others can then step forward and have bigger roles.
I think Black Panther could step in for his role as the leader, or that type of leadership role, and I don't think you would miss much of a beat.
Hulk probably won't be around. I mean,
yeah.
In the original Avengers, Hulk lasted for 3 episodes or 3 issues.
3 issues.
So, I mean, it's hard to believe that they'll keep him around, especially being as volatile and destructive as Bruce Banner tends to get.
And weren't they gathered to stop Hulk? Was it part of the reason they joined up?
The original one was Loki was playing tricks on Hulk or whatever, so they kind of had to stop Hulk. They stopped Hulk, and Hulk turned against Loki or something like that. That's
how he joined.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the first issue of Avengers.
And then you figure Hulk's probably gone because the rumor is that they're going to do a World War or a Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk's movie, which would explain, basically the series is they take him away because he's too dangerous for Earth. They drop him off on a planet, basically. I think they were supposed to kill him, but somehow he landed on a planet. He ended up becoming the king and then of the planet. And then World War Hulk is when they come back to Earth, and Hulk and all his alien friends destroy the Earth, basically.
Doesn't he like have a son by the time he comes back?
Yes.
Apparently they age very quickly on
It's like the
foreign
Mork and
planets.
Mindy thing in reverse. Maybe they just...
Oh, okay. It's Jonathan Winters playing the son.
That would be awesome as the Hulk. So I think you're right. I think Tony Stark's gone. I think Hulk would probably be eliminated. I think even possibly Hawkeye by then, especially if he's doing his own series. So,
Oh yeah, if they're giving it, I didn't see Hawkeye getting his own series though.
Well, I mean, own movie. Sorry, him and Black Widow, and then that's an easy way to write them out. So there you go. He also said, "Is how awesome is Vision going to be in Age of Ultron? And do you believe the rumors that Black Panther will be involved?"
I think they'll at least have some sort of cameo with Black Panther to set him up for probably being the one of the main drives of the third movie. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me think.
Vision, I wonder how much he's going to be in it.
Yeah, because I mean they have to introduce Ultron long before you can introduce Vision.
Because Ultron is the one that creates Vision.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And you wonder if Vision's just going to be like a quick 15-minute cameo at the end to help them beat Ultron.
I don't know. I have to wait to see how the movie goes because, maybe Vision was Ultron's plan, or I'm assuming Vision will be Ultron's plan to try and take over, and then somehow they convince Vision to not kill everybody.
I'll give them props for having the balls to put Vision in there. I'll give them bigger props if they have the balls to make Scarlet Witch hook up with Vision.
Yeah, because I would have thought that stuff would have happened a little bit later, like third movie or something. But apparently Ultron and Vision, that whole storyline is going to be put into Avengers 2. So
yeah, you wonder where it is going to go after Avengers 2, because Black Panther, I've said that before, that's the one I'm most excited about that they haven't made yet.
Yeah.
I love Black Panther when he's done correctly. No one's ever invaded his country. That's awesome. Because their whole country is badasses. So, like I said, I'm excited to see where it goes with that. I think Black Panther, I could see them going to his country and saying, hey, we need this type of material. Vibranium. We need this to help out. And he just gives it to them. He sells it or whatever. And then that's it. But then it sets it up for the next one that he comes up.
That could be. Yeah, because currently I think the entire world's supply of vibranium that's not in Wakanda is in Captain America's shield.
Which he was just throwing willy-nilly in his movie.
Just throw it around.
What are you doing with it? Protect it. And if you haven't seen Captain America 2 yet, please go see it. We'll get more on that in box office news, but my God, is that a monster. We also got a listener feedback from our own Musings of a Geek network.
Ooh.
Yeah. They go, where does S.H.I.E.L.D. go now that it's basically fallen apart? The TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where does it go now? Are you caught up yet?
I am caught up.
What did you think?
I wasn't quite sure what to think. Obviously I saw the
last week's.
Yeah, I saw the episode when all the shit hit the fan and everybody turned and I wasn't 100% sold that Ward was going to be the bad guy.
Spoiler alert! Here we go. We got some spoilers on S.H.I.E.L.D. coming up.
But when this week's episode came out, there is
no doubt,
no way they can redeem his character on what he did this week.
I kept hearing on internet that Ward was possessed by somebody. It was the magic or something. I don't, and that was before this week's. After this week's, there's no way you can even say that because I kept looking like, okay, maybe he's kind of zoned out. Nope, he's in there, and especially when he killed the two S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in the elevator.
In the elevator, yeah. I mean, because at first I'm thinking, he didn't really kill Hand. That was just a way that he's going to like infiltrate and try to get deeper in, and Hand's in on it, and she's not really dead. But then, when they went to the fridge and just pretty much killed everybody and let all the criminals out, I'm like, there's no redemption here.
And they mentioned Puma. Did you see that, or was it Prowler? Prowler. I forget which one.
I didn't
When they're
catch
walking,
that.
Bill Paxton's walking, and he's talking to Ward, and he said something about, who'd you put in here or whatever. He's like, I don't know, the craziest guy I put in here is a guy that had his hands changed into paws.
Oh,
And it was
okay.
either, I think it was Puma or Prowler. I was looking online to see who they thought it was, and that was one of those two.
Yeah, I didn't look up to see who that was. I did catch the line, but I didn't know what the reference was.
The one guy that escaped from the prison that Paxton's talking to, at the very beginning, or the first guy that walked out, I think he's Night Stalker, is what they're saying. So, of course, you just
don't
let
know
all
until you
these
see it.
villains
Yeah.
out.
Oh, it's going to be.
And I never thought Bill Paxton would be this enjoyable in anything.
Anything.
Outside of Twister. Same cow. Look, the cow went by again.
Hey. Okay.
So, no, I think it's great. I mean, I don't know where they go from here.
Yeah, obviously I'm assuming Triplet will end up being the replacement for Ward on the team.
I'm okay with that.
And that I'm happy with because I kind of liked him. I was waiting for him to turn.
Yes.
And
I told you, I think it's the scientist, the female scientist, Simmons. Is that Simmons? Yeah, that's Simmons. I think she's Hydra.
Do you?
Yes, I really do. I think there was some little hints in there in the first episode after Captain America when she said, "Oh, this is just a test." She looked disappointed. Second time, this past episode, I can't remember it offhand right now, but they make a comment, and she says another comment like Hydra influence, and she's like, "Oh, okay," and it was like,
I don't know. Well, that would be ballsy to do that because that means you're having two of your original 6 main characters.
I like it. And it's finally gotten to the point that Arrow did of, you know what, screw it. We're just going to throw everything at the fan. Let's just do it.
Let's just do. We'll tell the story. We'll figure out where to go after that. But we want this story told. We're not going to hold back.
Correct.
In hopes of drawing it out. We're just going to throw it out there and hope people like it anyway.
And let's be honest, they have a 2-year cushion. Whatever the ratings are, let's be real. They're going to keep it on the air. Disney's going to keep it on the air. ABC's going to keep it on the air until Avengers 2.
You would think that, and you'd hope that, but I know they were talking that it was one of them that was up for cancellation on ABC this year.
It did go up 5% in ratings this week.
Oh, I think after these last two, and since they were able to tie it in with the movie, it's really helped them out.
And I think the DVR is going to help them too, the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, but I think they'll definitely have this season, or definitely finish this season. They'll get another season based on how this season is ending.
And can I just give props for picking out that Bill Paxton's a clairvoyant?
Well, that's kind of expected. When Bill Paxton showed up,
target him. Deathlock didn't target him. Come on.
When Bill Paxton showed up, you're like, he's going to be a bad guy.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, that's the problem with hiring well-known actors is they're almost always the secret bad guy.
Especially in murders of the week, like Castle or somebody. Oh, he's a main guy. He's going to do it.
Oh, I know who he is, so he's going to be a bad guy. If you don't know the actor, chances are they're not a bad guy. But if you know the actor, you've seen them somewhere, they're going to be the ones guilty.
And I do like that they're the rogue agents now, basically. I like that. So
yeah, I'd like to see how that goes because obviously, Fury's not dead, and Coulson does know that Fury's not dead, but the rest of the team doesn't.
They're going to do an A-team thing now.
Oh,
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, they were at the beginning. They were wrongly accused of a crime they didn't commit.
They're going to break Ward out of the mental hospital every week. There you go. Recast A-team with the Shield guys.
All right.
Next thing, another one of our followers, Killjoy Line at Puma Zili on Twitter. Been following her. She asked, this is kind of a fun one. Yeah. Have they cast Harley Quinn yet on Arrow? I think she's a couple episodes behind is what she said.
Okay.
And how do you think that will play out? Funny thing though, as soon as she tweeted that to me, within 10 minutes, the actress, no lie here, no exaggeration, actress that played Harley Quinn on Arrow, Cassidy Alexa, she actually retweeted and liked it like that and favored it. So she's obviously, anytime you mention her, she's listening.
She's out there. So
they already casted her, obviously. I don't know if they're going to bring her in or not. I think if Gotham wasn't on Fox, I think they would have brought her in more with Suicide Squad on Arrow. Now that Gotham, and I know they're not related because 2 networks, I get
all
that
stuff.
But it wouldn't,
Well, but the Gotham people probably want to say we want the rights to the
Correct.
Batman villains. We don't want our villains showing up on your.
Granted, though, they do have Ra's al Ghul on Arrow, and that's a Batman villain. So I mean, it's kind of, of course,
But then again, that was before they signed Gotham too. And,
correct.
And then
Correct.
Something like Harley Quinn. Exactly where did the rights fall?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose she was created for the animated series, so that's an interesting way to figure out how that goes.
I think it would be fun to add her to it.
Oh, I think it would be great. I think it would make Arrow better.
I think it would make the Suicide Squad look better.
Oh, well, yeah, it would definitely make them look better.
So
I mean, I saw the picture of Castiel X. It will definitely make them look better.
Yes. Which actually gets us to our next thing from Amy. She goes, every time we woo over a woman in TV or film, can we take a 5-second break to mention Chris Evans' abs? Oh, he is dreamy abs. Oh.
I'd rather look at Chris Pratt's abs.
Yummy. Oh, that was 5 seconds. So, Amy, I every time we do it for the female listeners, because we do have some, we found out through Twitter that we do have female listeners. I'm shocked as well as anybody.
I was kind of shocked we had listeners to begin with.
Well, that's true.
Regardless of gender.
That is true. And if you are listening, please spread the word. Just tell one friend to listen to us. Just one. Could triple R, double R.
Yeah, it would double. But if that friend listens to this episode and tells a friend,
Yes.
and et cetera and so on.
Spread the word. We're taking over the world. The world. But I do think, I think she'll be back in for, Harley Quinn will be back in for maybe 1 or 2 episodes here and there, but I don't think she's ever going to have a major role yet.
Oh, major role, no, but I mean, they need to.
They need to diversify. So there you go. And finally, for the listener feedback, we got 2, sorry.
Ooh.
Riddle Me This from Paul this week. Fantastic Four versus Silver Surfer with the cast of Michael J. Fox, which is today's version, President, or if you don't do Michael J. Fox, you can do present-day Clint Eastwood.
Present-day Clint Eastwood. Okay.
William Shatner, Seth Rogen, Kevin Spacey, and then for Sue Storm, it'll be Layla Ali. Take a drink. I mispronounced another name. And Barbara Streisand. Let's just get that easy one away. Ali would be...
yes, Layla Ali, hands down, no questions about it, over Barbara Streisand. Oh, heck, Layla Ali might not even be a bad choice to begin with anyway.
No. Seth Rogen would be Johnny Storm.
Yeah, he's
The
got
humor.
He's got the humor part for him.
Of course, every time he would go smoke something, I think it would burn him up, though. He would accidentally torch it.
Yeah. I think you would have to put Shatner as Mr. Fantastic.
I think so. He's not fantastic in real life, but he is Mr.
He's
Fantastic.
a good scenery chewer,
Yeah.
and that tends to be what Mr. Fantastic does.
I guess you couldn't put Michael J. Fox as Thing because he would keep breaking himself up with his shakes.
Oh, boo. Oh.
I like Michael J. Fox.
Send all complaints to
The history of bad ideas at Gmail.
to Jason Brigger in
care
care
of.
of history.
I don't know. Who do we got left? Sorry.
We got Silver Surfer
And Thing.
and Thing.
I think Kevin Spacey could do a good Silver Surfer.
That's where I was leaning towards. Kevin
Okay.
Spacey being Silver Surfer.
And then
Clint Eastwood is Thing.
I thought we were doing Michael J. Fox's Thing.
You just said you couldn't do it.
Well, I was just being a smartass.
Oh.
I like Michael J. Fox. I could put him in this Thing.
He didn't say...
Clint Eastwood would be...
Well, he didn't say Dr. Doom here, but I would throw in Michael J. Fox as Dr. Doom.
I would do Clint Eastwood as Dr. Doom.
Okay.
Get off my lawn.
Oh, you got a point.
See?
You got a point.
There he goes.
There we go.
That might be my best impersonation.
Which doesn't say much.
Oh, no. I do declare. And so there you go. There's your Riddle Me This for this week. Okay, next one is Activate.
Uh-oh.
Where Jim, sorry, Jeff's my host here with me. Jeff and I, we take one of those Wonder Twins, and one of us would be the animal. I think I was the water last week.
You were water last week. I was animal. So we'll
switch it up.
Switch it up.
I'll be the animal. You're water. And Jeff's brother Jim actually texted in a scenario for us, and we have to activate us, one of them, and we got to figure out how to escape that scenario.
Well,
Or not even escape, just
improve it, make it better, whatever the situation calls for.
What form would we turn into?
How would we use our powers?
Doug, our number one fan, was a little creeped out by this. He thought it was a sex game.
All right, Doug. We're talking
He's got
about
some issues, I think.
We're talking about a kid's cartoon from the 70s, Doug. I don't know where
calm down there.
I don't know what you were doing in your underoos back then.
I don't know. Okay, so activate. What do we got?
Activate. We are stuck in a well with Buffalo Bill a la Silence of the Lambs.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, I would be a gorilla with a bazooka and blow us all up.
No, not allowed to be gorillas with bazookas. I would turn into a geyser.
And shoot us out?
Or
at least Buffalo Bill would be shot out.
Well, we're in the well. We just got to get out, turn into a geyser. And
I don't know if you would be out, because your water would go up, we would get thrown out, and then you would just go back into the...
you're supposed to... Gleek will be there holding the bucket. I'll go into the bucket.
Gleek is not in this game.
Well, come on.
No.
Come on, Gleek and Precious are hanging out.
No.
Yeah. Well, then you must have... You better get the bucket or something. Or
you know what? I'll turn in... Oh, that's not an animal, a bucket. Son of a bitch.
Pelican.
I don't want you in my mouth. This is a sex game. What the hell is going on?
Did they do that in the show before, though?
Time out. I'm a little disturbed by this.
I think she turned into a pelican once, and he turned into the water.
I don't want to play anymore. God. Jesus. Shit. You know what? Screw you. I'm going to turn into like an African swallow. I'm flying away. Fuck you. I'm going to turn into some type of bird and just fly. Yes. I'm going to leave you down there with Buffalo Bill. I don't care.
So you're not going to bother trying to catch Buffalo Bill? You're just trying to escape?
Yeah, I just want to get the hell out of there.
Okay. I mean, I can get out of there. Heck, I'm in a well. All I have to do is just like turn into water and just float through sink into the dirt and find the underground river running.
We're definitely not farmers here, people. We don't know how a well works. I may live in farm country, but I don't know how
it's
well
a well.
works.
So somewhere along the line, water flowed through there. Water can flow out.
Just don't go in the septic tank. That would be bad. Don't flow into
that would be bad.
I don't want to play anymore. I'm scared. I probably could have done better than a bird, but I don't know what to do anymore.
I don't know. I think we still have to catch Buffalo Bill. Hell, you could turn into a buffalo.
I'll turn into a buffalo to ram it.
Gore.
Gore. I don't want to play anymore. Oh, goodness. Okay, that's enough for Activate this week. What's our next segment?
Next segment I think is... It's time for another installment of the News of the Geek.
Okay, first thing up. Carnage in a Venom spin-off movie? What?
Well, honestly, Venom getting a spin-off movie, what else would you write about?
That's what I'm wondering, too. Avi Arad states, from Marvel, states, "What a great idea." He replied coyly, I'm quoting this, when asked about the chances of Carnage making an appearance in Venom. Basically... another one in the know with Marvel, Matt Tolmich, he was pretty vague, but he was said exactly the idea of Venom and Carnage. Take it into consideration. Watch out for this Venom movie. We are crazy excited. Not just excited, they're crazy
excited.
So let's go through this here. Amazing Spider-Man 2 opens in 2 weeks.
If
May
you say so.
2nd, it is May 2nd.
All right.
First off, I've heard reviews already that it's as bad as Batman and Robin in terms of the puns and the writing. I'm a little scared.
That worries me.
This movie, I've heard that from 2 different sources. And I think one of them is comicbookmovies.com, which is a pretty good one. Yeah. I believe it was from them, or IGN.com wrote it was, Now, I did not read the whole review because I didn't want to know about it.
Yeah.
But I was not excited about this film to begin with, and now I'm even more scared.
I don't know. Looking at Jamie Foxx's Electro, and I really don't quite get what they're doing with Rhino. Although, was that an Ultimates thing?
Yes, it was Ultimate.
So
was Electro. Electro is the ultimate universe version.
I don't have a problem with. Obviously, you can't do the guy with the stupid-looking fake lightning bolts on his face.
That would be awesome.
No, I mean I understand we're not doing that. I'm just not sure how it's going to turn out. And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I usually enjoy when Jamie Foxx does stuff other than his singing career.
My thing is, Jamie Foxx's Electro doesn't scare me. Jamie Foxx trying to play a nerd, quote unquote, is
Good
like,
point.
oh look, we're the stereotypical nerd. Oh look, And
Well,
it's
that's how they play nerds on TV, so that's how I'll do it.
That's right. Jeff just pushed his glasses up. We're not video, Jeff, so nobody sees that.
No one saw that. I had to get into character.
Sorry. And so that worries me a lot. And like I said, the Blue Man Electro cast scares me. Rhino being in it for 4 minutes. I did see one preview where Spider-Man pulls down his underwear or his pants, and Rhino's wearing. Oh, sorry, Paul Giamatti's wearing Rhino underwear. Oh,
Wow.
and I'm scared. I'm very scared. So anyway, so you got Amazing Spider-Man 2. Supposedly it sets up Sinister Six, which if you saw the previews, there you go.
Yeah, it's going to set up Sinister Six.
And then if it goes into the next one, which is Amazing Spider-Man 3, or do they do a Sinister Six movie?
I think the Sinister Six movie will be out before the third Amazing
Okay.
Spider-Man. At least my understanding of their timeline, that's how it's going to
So
happen.
you figure in Sinister Six you have Green Goblin, you got Electro's probably coming back for it because he said electricity never dies. Jamie Foxx said that interview.
I would assume you kind of need Electro in the Sinister Six.
I don't think Rhino's in it. I really don't. I think
If he's only doing 4 minutes in this movie, are they setting him up for anything?
or is it just a guest spot, or maybe Amazing Spider-Man 3?
I don't know.
Then you got Venom, I think is in it.
Oh, I hope not.
I think Doc Ock and Vulture.
Well, that's 6 right there.
That's 5, isn't it?
Oh, I thought you mentioned 6.
Green Goblin.
Oh, you said not Rhino.
Yeah, not Rhino. So that's 5. Is there somebody we're missing out on this show in this movie? Who else is in it?
Mysterio.
Maybe Mysterio. Shocker. No, Shocker's too close to Electro. You won't do Sandman again. Please don't.
No. But, well, yeah.
Maybe-
Although, personally, I think if you're doing Sinister Six, you should have Sandman in there. But
You also have BJ Novak is playing Smythe, the Spidey Slayer. So you could have him. I don't think he's not turned in the movie. So you could have him.
Oh, that could be.
So
you think they're setting that up for Amazing Spider-Man 3, or you think
I don't
that's
know.
for Sinister Six?
I don't know. Because, okay, so say Venom. I think Venom has to be in Sinister Six movie. I think he has to be.
I don't.
Because I think they use it to make the Venom spin-off movie.
I'd rather them just do Venom right
Of
off
course,
the bat.
You could do Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Venom, a true Venom stalking Mary Jane, trying to get into Peter Parker's life. And then, and then you could do the Venom movie after that, which I think is going to happen. I think that would be what. And I think Carnage is the only way you make Venom a good guy. I think that's.
If Venom's going to be a good guy, then you has to be Carnage.
He's a serial killer.
Yeah,
You got the symbiote and just basically goes apeshit.
Yeah,
So
but I never really cared for Venom, and I despised Carnage. So I didn't care about those storylines to begin with. So I don't know how big of me being the target audience they're looking for anyway.
Well, I do. I remember growing up in the 90s, one of my favorite series was Maximum Carnage, and Carnage basically gets Shrieker and all these other bad guys, lesser known, and Spider-Man has to team up with Venom and Captain America and to stop him, and it's like a blood fest. It was not well written, but I liked it as a kid, and I've yet to go back in the last 10 years to read it, and I don't think I want to, but yeah, so there you go. But anyways, I think that's where you're going is Venom and Carnage. So
Well, that's probably how you're going.
next, Deadline just released an update on television pilots, Deadline.com, sorry, based on comic books. The big one is a quote, introduce a new television Marvel series, Agent Carter. Haley Atwell will reprise her role as Peggy Carter from the series, which is expected to only have 13 episodes, and it will have Howard Stark as a recurring character. The pilot was written by Captain America, the Winter Soldier screenwriters Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. So, and then Deadline does report it looks like it's going to be a straight-to-series. The script was finished more than 3 months ago. basically it came out of the one shot that Hallie Atwell came up with. I think she was in Iron Man 3. They did a short of Peggy Carter. I think it was in that one.
In Iron Man 3?
Yeah, the DVD release, the Blu-ray release.
Oh,
she had a one
okay.
shot.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, the Marvel one shots. I know they put those online. You can get those on YouTube.
And then they said it may come along with a renewal for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series, possibly serve as a bridge between fall and spring portions of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fall and spring. That would be kind of cool.
That would be interesting. I like that idea.
I do too. You know what? I'm kind of intrigued by it. After seeing Captain America 2 and seeing Peggy Carter back in the day a little bit, I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm assuming it's going to be probably around her exploits as they start S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I would think so because her and Howard Stark are the main people that do it. I'm all for that. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, why not? And like I said, it's going to be during the break of S.H.I.E.L.D., so it's not like you're throwing so much more at television that you're going to over comic book, ABC. It's just going to be probably the same time slot, just a different. So I think that's a great idea.
And I'm okay with those only 13 episodes
because they do better. They're better written when you only have to do 13. When you're doing 24, it's a lot more filler.
And I go back to Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow, I loved. It was just a guilty pleasure, but it was fun. But I like it because you knew it was 13 episodes, or it might be 15. I think they might have extended. But you knew that if it was going on for 22, 24 episodes, I think I would have been bored by it. But in those 13 episodes, they kept it concrete, concise and everything. So I'm all for a 13 episode. So then you also have, in comic book news, Dick Grayson does not die. His series Nightwing is coming to a close. Which I'm sure somebody else is going to pick up the mantle of Nightwing, but whatever.
However,
USA Today revealed that DC has plans for a new series called Grayson, comic book series. New series from the creative team of writers Tim Seeley and Tom King. Not Kring. So we're okay.
Oh, okay. It's King, not Kring. Okay.
Basically, it's, to quote them, he's going to take off the mask and step out on his own in a world where he's not simply being another hero, like the hero he grew up with. I don't know what the hell that means. Anyways, Grayson will number 1 be released in July. Basically, he's going to join the S.H.I.E.L.D. version of DC, another version, and he's going to be a spy. All the fanboys were getting upset because on the cover issue of Grayson 1, he has a gun. Oh, he was taught never to use a gun. He's a spy. Get over it.
I have no problem with that. Just because Batman doesn't use guns, although he uses guns, different types of guns. He uses grappling hook guns. But
I just am like, really? This is what you're going to bitch about?
Yeah,
Let it go.
He's allowed to use a gun. I don't know. It's just he's pretty much going to be like Jason Bourne without amnesia.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that, though. I like Dick Grayson, the character.
Oh, I like Dick Grayson, too, although, I just haven't liked the whole new 52 stuff, so I kind of stopped paying attention to what was going on in most of DC.
The spy agency is called Spiral. That's not very creative. S-P-Y-R-A-L?
What does it stand for? Oh,
you have spy in your name.
Well, I don't think that necessarily means they're spies, does it?
Come on down to Chop Shop Box and we'll chop, we do car repairs. I mean, come on. I'm excited about it. I like the whole Batman comic books and that. Grant, that's number 87 for the monthly titles for Batman, probably. I think we're up to 87 different titles. I think after a while it kind of gets annoying.
Yeah. Too many titles for the same character over and over makes it a little difficult.
So, and I like the Nightwing series, I always have. So, I'll give it a try with Grayson number 1. So that comes out in July.
Are they killing off the character? Not like he's not dying, but to the public, they're going to assume he's dead?
I don't know. Issue 30 comes out next month.
Okay.
So, or actually, it'll be May. It comes out in May.
Because obviously he has been unmasked or whatnot.
Correct.
And I still want to know how any semi-intelligent non-Lois Lane reporter in the entire DC universe can't connect the dots that if Dick Grayson is Nightwing, what does that make Bruce Wayne?
I think it's the same. I really think the people of DC, like the actual fictional people in the cities, are all brain damaged. Okay. And I think the reason is they couldn't figure out Clark Kent and Superman are the same. They can't figure out Nightwing is now, or I mean, Dick Grayson is associated with Batman, who's associated with Bruce Wayne. Let's be real. And Bruce Wayne funds Batman Incorporated in the books. How do you not put all this together? And it's like pre-52 when Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, has his goatee. He's the mayor of the city, and he's a superhero, and nobody knows he's Green Arrow.
Yeah, until you took off
his mask,
his eye coverage.
And I love Green Arrow, but come on.
All right, let's see who you really are. Mayor Queen, we didn't notice the pointy goatee that you're the only person in the entire city that wears.
It wasn't like it's a mustache or a regular goatee. It's a pointy beard goatee. And no one else has that since 1850. So there you go. But and then finally, Jeff, you got anything on the Game of Thrones? I know last week we didn't get to it because we were doing Captain America. The season premiere, what did you think?
Yeah, the season premiere, well, the season premiere went well. I haven't seen the second episode yet. It has aired as of this taping. I'm a little behind on seeing it because I don't have HBO, so I need to depend on the kindness of strangers or friends, whoever wants to get me a way to see that. But I know what happened. I read the books. I saw all the hype. I know what happened. But I don't think I'll throw out the spoilers just yet. But from the first episode, I think it was done pretty well. They're setting things up, obviously, for the second episode and trying to, get people to remember who is who and what characters are doing what. The biggest problem I have was they recast one of the parts of Dario Naharis with a guy who looked nothing like the guy who played him in last season.
Why'd they recast him?
Apparently, they were disappointed at the acting of the first guy, from what I understand. Like, they just said he wasn't that good or something, and which means they're admitting they made a mistake or something because a guy who has an important role coming up, But I mean, it was a guy with long blonde hair and like steely eyes and cheekbones, just looking like your, I don't know, average GQ model or something, to a guy with like short brown hair and a, full beard.
Hunchback?
And, not a hunchback, but...
Overalls? Oh, he's got overalls and paint on him. Yeah. You can't change him.
But they recast him. Looks nothing like him, and so like every time he was in a scene, they had to say his name 2 or 3 times just so you knew who this was.
They should put a name tag on him.
Hello, my name is.
I would be playing the part of. Is there dragons in this episode?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not trying to be a smartass. I'm just asking: is there dragons more prevalent? Are they doing something?
Oh, the dragons are going to be come very prevalent because they're now in their adolescent stage.
Okay.
And they're kind of rebelling against their mom, and so they're causing trouble where she doesn't need trouble to be. So it's going to get pretty interesting on how the dragons go from here.
Okay. Because I've seen How to Train Your Dragon, the cartoon.
Yeah.
Is it similar to that?
I haven't seen that, so I can't compare.
That's all I got on dragons. I like the movie.
All right. Well, so Jason's recommending How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is coming out, isn't it?
I saw that.
All right.
So
you'll be first in line at the theater?
No.
All right.
It's time for Box Office Bombs.
Thank you to Marty again for that.
Yes.
He did email us and say that he's got some new equipment coming, and when he's done with that, he's got a couple more things, heading or intros for us. Keep it coming, Marty. You're awesome, man.
Thank you.
You're awesome. Okay, so box office news. Let's start with the bombs. Just like the Cleveland Browns, shout out to one of our fans, Blake. Draft Day bombed at the box office with a $9.8 million.
That's a bomb?
Yes.
What were they expecting?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought 9.8 was...
My thought, maybe you should release it during football season.
They're releasing it 2 weeks before the draft.
Yeah, but you know what? As much as I love the NFL draft, and I always go to the bars and usually go to and all that with all of our friends, This year you don't hear much about it, and maybe it's just because I haven't paid attention.
You haven't been watching ESPN.
No, I watch NFL Network, but
because
NFL Network's obsessed with it too. Don't get me wrong, but I actually haven't been watching. I've been watching the NHL playoffs and baseball started back up, so I've been watching that. And I try to avoid ESPN as much as possible.
That's the thing is you would think with baseball getting underway and in full gear, and with hockey playoffs going on now, there'd be a lot more room to talk about that stuff on ESPN. No, it's pretty much NBA, which we both agree we don't like.
Correct.
It's all NBA and NFL draft, and with a 2-minute talk every day to Barry Melrose for hockey, and then Yankee and Red Sox talk for baseball.
Is Barry Melrose on ESPN?
Barry Melrose is on ESPN.
Oh, because he's on the NHL Network now, too.
Oh, is he?
Yes. So, that's what I was wondering.
Oh, maybe he's not on ESPN.
Is he on NBC Sports? He's on one of the two, NHL Network or NBC Sports. Well, it doesn't matter because ESPN doesn't acknowledge that hockey even exists.
Yeah, but I thought they signed Melrose to a contract, and he thought the money was too good to take from ESPN to get out of that contract to go elsewhere. So
he is. I have seen him on NHL Network or NBC Sports. I forget which one.
Oh, well, maybe.
And I love you, Barry.
Confused.
Love your hair. Love your hair. Again, ESPN doesn't even acknowledge hockey. So, what's this playoffs you talking about?
And that's the best hockey in the world.
Did you see LeBron James get off the plane? He got off the plane.
Yes.
Look at that. Fuck you, ESPN.
Meanwhile, we just had a couple of overtime games here in
hockey
in Chicago.
3 overtimes. No. Fuck you, ESPN. God, I hate you. Anyways, not Disney though. Like your parent company. Anyways, so draft day bombed. $9.8 million. Oh well.
But,
sorry.
Well, asked Blake how it was, and he said it was great until I had to leave and realize I'm back in the real world and the Browns still suck.
Again, what I said to him too, I would bet you Kevin Costner would be their GM. You could pay him, and it would not surprise me the Browns to do that. No offense to our Cleveland fans, but come on, we're Bengals fans, and we know that it's it's a little bit better down here, but not much. And then Pompeii is officially out of the first-run theaters, and I believe as of this weekend, Easter weekend, it is out of the theaters.
Completely out of the second run?
I believe it is, yes. So, your brother, who volunteered to kickstart the whole Kickstarter of us paying to see it, he said he will just buy the DVD and we're going to watch it at somebody's house.
Oh.
And you know what we should have in the background? Bastille playing.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
I just don't know how I'm going to be an optimist about that.
I did talk to my nephew. He is going to Bastille that we talked about. We were making fun of him. He did mention that a girl is involved. So that's a positive.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not his girl or a girl he's going after.
Is it?
No, it was like he was saying,
one of his friends' girls.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah, it's like I think it's 3 guys and 2 girls, and your nephew's like the 5th wheel or something.
I love that TV show. That game show is awesome. Get on the bus. Oh, good times. There you go, Phil Hartman. So, anyways, let's get into the non-bomb news.
All right.
I love how we start with the bombs. Always go negative.
Hey, we're in a negative world.
That's right. Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier, made $41.4 million in its second weekend. Domestically, it's made $159 million. This Easter weekend, it's just going to blow.
Oh.
I think it's going to blow the socks off everything else again. Because I'll tell you what opens in just a second.
Okay.
Rio 2 came in second at $39 million.
I hope they think that's a good taking.
They actually thought Rio 2, it did too. They were happy. They actually, for a while, up until Sunday, I think it was beating Captain America.
Wow.
So, hey, I like the first Rio. Grant, my son made us watch it 1,000 times.
I have no desire to see it. Haven't seen it. Don't plan on seeing it.
You don't have kids.
Is that the only thing the movie's good for?
Pretty much. I wouldn't see it if it wasn't.
They make movies for the whole family that adults can enjoy as well as children.
The Smurfs, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I was talking about the Lego movie or something.
Oh, okay. Never see the Smurfs.
Or pretty much almost all of the Pixar movies except maybe Cars 2.
Oh, and they're making a third Cars.
Yeah.
And a second Incredibles.
I heard that. Second Incredibles.
Good for them. So there's your 2 big ones this week. Like I said, draft day bombed. I apologize. I forget what place it came in. I think it was 4th or 5th. But here we go. this is coming out Easter weekend, this weekend. This might take Captain America. I might take number 1, A Haunted House 2 with Marlon, or one of the Wayans. Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
Let's
try another one. Bears. It's a documentary from Disney. Nope. Maybe if it was the Country Club Bears, or what was that? The Country Bears? What was that?
Oh, Country Bear Jamboree?
Yes. I think they did make a movie of that.
They did make a movie of that. That didn't do too well. And Bears might be good if it was talking about the gay subculture. That movie might sell.
I really don't know what to say about that. Grrr. Come on, Jeff, you're a bear. Come on, do it.
Roar.
From South Park. It's a pride of gay lions.
It's a gay lion.
Roar.
A gaggle of gay geeses.
Actually, I would pay to see bears, the subculture of the homosexual community. I would pay to see that. We're open here. And then maybe a Cuban Fury.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a subculture of the homosexual lifestyle. No, I have no idea either.
Is it about Mark Cuban?
I don't think so.
He's getting mad at the other sharks.
It's about Fury and Cuban.
A Cuban Fury.
Yeah.
So is he like the Hispanic version of Nick Fury?
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. And I did look it up a couple days ago, and I can't remember what it is.
It left that much of an impression.
Yes. So there you go. There's your box office news for this week. Let's just call it now. Captain America is going to be number 1 again.
It's called.
There you go. Rio 2 will be number 2. The only thing that might switch is Rio 2 might flip-flop with Captain America. And to tell you the truth...
for the family weekend, it might pull it out.
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, I think next weekend is even worse. After the Easter weekend, there's nothing much coming out.
How are the bad movies? The bad movies were the time of February and September. They're supposed to be...
Maybe they're afraid of Captain America.
That must be it. Yeah.
I mean... Everybody's gearing up for May, which is Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. And then that's May 2nd. And
you would think you'd want to slip in ahead of Spider-Man and to put out something a week before that comes out.
So go see Bears this weekend.
Yes, everyone see Bears.
There you go. There's your box office news. How can you be in a bad mood after that song?
And you know what that song means?
Chris Pratt news!
Chris Pratt news!
My God, you just made everybody steer off the highway. Or they woke up in their cubicles, I'm not sure. So, a little side note here. I tweeted Chris Pratt at Pratt all week to get him to give us some fun facts. He has not responded.
Oh, come on, Chris. Come on. I know you're listening.
Come on, man. And even Puma Zealy tried getting in on it on Twitter. Pratt, we love you here, buddy. We even got rid of John Noble. Some could say because of lawsuits. Some could say my ADD. Either way.
I think it's because Chris Pratt is dreamy.
You know what? His abs. Yes. His abs. There's 5 seconds, Amy. Okay, so Chris Pratt news. Chris Pratt became an actor because when he was working at the Bubba Gump restaurant in Hawaii, he waited on the actor/director Rae-Dawn Chong.
Tommy Chong's daughter.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there's your fun fact. Look at that. Dun, dun, dun. And she was so taken with Pratt, she cast him in her debut feature, Cursed 3, which I do remember that.
Wow, her debut was the third of the Cursed movies. Bad trilogy? Oh.
And although the film was barely seen, it launched his career.
So, wait a minute. Did we just find something good came out of Forrest Gump? Oh,
that is true.
Because of Forrest Gump, the Bubba Gump restaurants were out. Chris Pratt got a job there and got discovered.
Jump down that wormhole. Look at that. Ooh. It just keeps going.
So, give it up to Forrest Gump.
And she died of cancer. And that's all I got to say about that.
Please never do that again.
I watched it last night.
Oh, was Sean,
25 minutes.
Yeah.
And my wife is looking at me going, can you please turn this because I know you hate this movie so much? And I go, no. And we're watching it. And Sally Field goes, when she's on her deathbed, your life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And I scream at the TV. Thank God none of my kids woke up. And I go, yes, you do. Fucking chocolate. It could be coconut chocolate. It could be dark chocolate. It's still chocolate.
Yeah, but you don't know which one. Unless, of course, you buy one of the chocolate boxes that has the little roadmap of everything that's on there.
Every chocolate box. Oh, man, I hate that movie. That's all I'll say about that. On a side note, did you watch Cougar Town? We finally caught up on the whole season.
Oh, okay.
When Grayson was trying to play the Forrest Gump.
Oh, yes.
He's brain damaged. We had to pause it because I was laughing so hard when he goes, windows are just like tiny doors with curtains. I
liked the way he talked about the cows have finger boobs.
That's right. That's another one. That and him breakdancing was pretty good. And I have to say, I like Cougar Town. It's been up and down ever since it went to TBS.
Yeah.
But the last 3-4 episodes I thought were hilarious of the season. And also, please save that too. Not only save Enlisted, hashtag save Enlisted, hashtag save Cougar Town because it's on the bubble.
Yeah, I thought TBS would have made a decision by now.
The ratings went down, like in the total audience, but it's still one of their better performers. So it's like, just renew it. You have nothing else on TBS.
Yeah, I mean, unless like the actors have ridiculously high contracts, which I find
that hard to believe.
Yeah,
they get paid to drink.
Yeah,
because that's not fake wine. Courtney Cox has said that they got in trouble for drinking so much.
Well, I think some of it is fake wine. Depends on how late in the day they're shooting.
True.
I think I have read they mentioned that the earlier in the day, chances are it's not real wine, but later in the day, chances are it is.
So save Cougar Town, people. Okay. Shout outs, promos. We got our network, which we're excited about. We talked about that earlier. Musings of a Geek. Talked to them. Dan with the network did say that he would like to do a Musings of a Geek con in Vegas.
Musings Con. He said he was joking when he first brought it up.
On his new Musings of a Geek podcast this week, he did give a shout out to us saying that it's funny. He asked if anybody was going to Comic-Con in San Diego. No one could do it, but we could all go to Vegas.
Well,
and that's because, Dan, we can't get tickets to Comic-Con.
Yeah, we can't get tickets, and we can't afford the hotels in San Diego.
Yeah, he was talking about that too on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, like the
$300 and something for
a night. Well, for one of them attached to the,
which is it would be great to be there, but
yeah,
for one night, $300 and something. It's a little rich for my blood there.
And then they had some ideas on how to like improve the Comic-Con. You know, especially because apparently Hall H, they always keep talking about Hall H, must be the one where all the big news happens and all the big panels. And they're saying, people wait in line for hours to get in there. It's like, why don't you just close circuit them to the surrounding hotels that are, in on the con, so like people can, sit in there and watch, and, you're not going to not sell out the hall by letting more people see it.
And in all honesty, you could have them pay tickets, $5 to get in, or if you have a ticket to the Comic-Con, who cares? You're going to sell alcohol at the hotel, so do that.
Yeah.
So no, I agree. And to be honest with you, I would love to go to Comic-Con one day in my life, but I don't understand sitting for 11 hours to get into Hall H to see a 5-second Age of Ultron preview.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because it's going to be online within 2 days.
Yeah, it's going to be online in 12 minutes.
Yeah. And part of me, it would be cool to see, but I'd much rather go see everything else. I'm not waiting in line for anything for 11 hours.
Well, and that's, the big thing is, that Comic-Con is not necessarily geared towards you, or at least the Hall H portion.
Correct.
Although there are some panels that would be cool to see.
Yes.
But like I said, if they close circuit them, I mean, but that's the thing is you can watch them online within a couple days anyway.
So there you go. Oh, and also follow us on Stitcher. They gave us, always give us a little bump there. So just subscribe to us on Stitcher.
You can subscribe to us on Stitcher, download us on iTunes, or stream us on the Musings of a Geek.
And Libsyn. We're everywhere, people. Come on.
Yes.
And then we got Hidden Gems. You got anything, Jeff?
Hidden Gem. Yeah, I just recently stumbled across another podcast that is not part of our network or whatnot, but one of our Twitter followers had mentioned something while tweeting about us, tweeted about another podcast, 40 going on 14. And I thought, oh, okay, if she likes us, I'll see what they're about. So I checked them out. And it's, I think, like 4 guys who are, just around in their 40s now, talking about, growing up, still wanting to be, that 14-year-old boy or something. And they've got a bunch of, I think they got like 31, 32 episodes out. And so I went back and looked through some of the titles, and a lot of them seemed interesting. And the one that I got a chance to listen to was about the big hair heavy metal, and they kind of like drafted teams from the heavy metal bands of the late 80s, early 90s. And I was just, I was in Geek Heaven listening to them talk about this. And so I would say, if you are looking for something else to check out, it's 40 Go 14. And you can check them out online.
40, man, that seems so old.
Yeah, you'll get there soon.
Oh, well, yeah. Unfortunately. Thanks. I do have a little hidden gem, quick one. If you're not playing Simpsons Tapped Out, can you help us out? I need some friends on Simpsons Tapped Out, the mobile game. They just released the Bunny season, which is like Whacking Day. Last year was Whacking Day. You got to kill snakes. It was great. This time, snakes. This year they changed it to bunnies because at least it was trying to make it more humane. So now I'm tapping bunnies
because it's Easter.
And the best part is the scientist. Who's the mad scientist?
Frank.
Yeah. He has an electric thing that you tap them and they get electrocuted. So it's not humane. But anyways, if you play that game, tweet me at Bad Ideas. What is our Twitter?
At Bad Ideas Podcast.
Thank you. At Bad Ideas Podcast. Let me know what your tagger thing is. Mine is J.A. Brigger. So please send me friend requests on Simpsons game. I need some friends there, guys. So it's a fun game. I've been hooked on it since it came out, I think 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And your brother was playing it too, Jim, but then he stopped recently, and he's really screwing up my friend's thing.
Oh man! Well, he goes through cycles where this game is great, and then when he's done with it, he's done with it.
I know. I need him to stop it. I need friends, people on it. It's like high school all over again.
And that's gonna take us into our top 5 of the week.
Top 5.
What do we got this week, Jay?
Top 5 television drama episodes. Not series, episodes.
Specific episodes of dramatic shows.
So you want to start us off with number 5, Jeff, on yours?
My number 5, I'm going to Lost.
Ugh.
Yeah, you're wrong. But I'm going to...
I'm out, bitches.
I'm going to the episode titled Expose, which was most people, if you watched Lost, it's pretty much known as the Nikki and Paolo episode. And the thing that I love about the episode so much, when they introduced the Nikki and Paolo characters, they introduced them in the 3rd season. After people complained after the first 2 seasons, there are 48 people on this plane crash, but you only show 13. What about everybody else? So they added a couple new people for the 3rd season. As soon as they were added, people are like, who are these people? Why are they there? They suck. I can't believe you did this.
Oh, the internet's beautiful, isn't it, some days?
Is. And unfortunately, it was the same season that the writer's strike was, so they had to cut some stuff. But, they were getting such a backlash on these characters who, they just would show up and do some things and you knew nothing about them. They seemed kind of too annoyingly chipper, but that's because they had their secrets and they were hiding them. And so this episode was centered on them. And it was supposedly they were planning on doing their story in 3 different episodes throughout the run of the show. But because of all the complaints about them, they just decided to go ahead and wrap their stories off and kill them off. But they kind of showed their background in the flashbacks through stuff they did before the island, and then all the stuff that was happening on the island from their perspective. So they visited old plots on the show, and I was just intrigued by that, and it showed, if the fans weren't so bent out of shape over adding these people, that there was something planned here, and just let the creators create. I thought this was a great episode, and as a standalone episode, it was probably one of my favorites from Lost.
Okay. I got nothing.
Yeah, because you didn't watch the show.
I watched the first episode.
And you didn't like it from that?
I just got bored.
Wow, okay.
Nothing against it. Hey, more power to you. We agree to disagree.
Sure.
Number 5, I actually cheated on this one here.
Uh-oh.
I actually did a comedy show that did a drama episode.
Oh, okay. It's an episode.
And you could... It was comedy in it. And it shows you how... I used to like the show a lot. I still respect when it's done, but it's The Simpsons.
Okay.
And I don't watch The Simpsons much anymore.
What's their drama episode?
I don't even know if it was... It had bits of drama, so I'm using it. And it was one of my favorite ones. So,
all right.
It's first time Homer's mom visits. And if that doesn't tear you up at the end, his mom comes back and visits after she was a 60s radical. And, she gave him up. She just basically left Homer and his dad, Abe. And because she was on the run from the police and everybody else, because she did some radical things as a hippie. She comes back after all this time, sees Homer, and there's humorous parts in it, don't get me wrong. But at the end, she leaves him again, and the last scene is, she gets into a mystery machine van, basically, and goes off with hippies because she can't be around them anymore, be around Homer. And Homer is sitting on the hood of his car, and there's stars in the night sky, and there's a shooting star. Oh my God. And, he's just there sad and because she left him again, but he was happy to know her again. But if that doesn't break you up at once in your life, you have no soul. So.
Oh boy. Not this you have no soul argument.
I really can't back that up. Anyways, so.
I don't know. We've been told we have no soul. Like I was talking with a guy at work or whatever. It's like, oh, if you don't like E.T., you have no soul.
I have no soul then.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, I missed my soul already.
E.T. is creepy and just not good.
But anyway, back to Simpsons.
Yes. So there you go. So that is one of my favorite episodes, and I'm going to say it's some drama because it's a tearjerker at the end.
Well, you better say it's drama because that's the category.
Well, that's what I'm going with. And I forgot to put on my comedy episodes last time. So damn it, I'm going with drama. My next other ones aren't questionable.
All right, what's your number 4?
Everyone's Waiting, which is the title of the episode, the series finale for 6 Feet Under.
Okay, never watched 6 Feet Under, so I'll sit back and listen to you talk about it.
I saw most episodes. I think I probably have seen 75% of the episodes. I really like the series. It's this family that runs a funeral home, and the best part about the series finale, you have everything happens in that, and pregnancies, all that stuff. But anyways, the best part is the whole series is obviously in a funeral home, so it's about death and that, and how they. It's a run-of-the-mill thing. They don't even think about it. The last episode, spoiler alert here, 10 years later, it shows how everybody, the main cast, dies. And it shows how they died, and it shows, like, from 1963 to 2017. And it's like, it just shows it all. So, great series. I like the series a lot. And like I said, the ending was clever. And the whole thing was, wrapped up. I mean, for 5 seasons, they brought it all together pretty well. It was a good series finale, and one of my favorite things that I saw ever was just how they all died. You don't see that.
Yeah,
and so
that's a unique take
and
on
then
it.
some of them were like, well, he died 2 years later. Well, that's not nice. So,
but it happens.
It does. So there you go. So what's your number 4, Jeff?
My number 4 is an episode of House MD.
Okay.
Actually, it's a 2-parter, so it's 2 episodes. But
you're cheating.
I'm cheating here. But it was the season 4 finale. The episodes House's Head and Wilson's Heart.
Okay. And
it's the episode House is in a bus when it gets into a crash, and he gets some memory loss, and he was trying to, remember exactly, because in his mind, he's like, I know somebody is dying and needs my help, but he couldn't remember who it was. So it's him, trying to get the team to listen to him and to help him try to, get his memories back. And it's showing him, on the, like in his mind on the bus, and he's talking to like a figment of his imagination who's trying to give him clues to remind him who he needs to save. So he's thinking, the bus driver or whatever caused the crash or whatever, I need to save his life because there was something wrong with him. So, he remembers some stuff, and then they think they, solved it, and he's still like, no, that's not it. There's still something out there. and then it remembers like the Figment lady or whatever. Eventually he notices she's wearing a necklace, and that's made of amber, and there was a character on there named Amber, who, if you don't know who the character is, it was somebody who was trying out for House's team when he was having the tryouts, and it's the one he nicknamed Cutthroat Bitch. And he hated her. She didn't make the team, but she started dating his best friend, Wilson.
Okay.
So he remembers that, oh crap, when I was on the bus, I saw her, taking some medication and something about, and I can't remember the exact stuff behind it, but it's like the medication she's taking mixed with the bus crash is going to, have very bad consequences. So when he finally remembers that's, I think, how the first part ended. So then the second part was them trying to, save her. And it turned out the reason she was even there on the bus was House was out at the bar drinking. Bartender takes his keys, says, "You ain't driving anywhere." He calls Wilson to come pick him up. Wilson isn't there, but she gets the message, so she goes to pick him up. Well, he gets on the bus, so she gets on the bus after him. Then the bus crashes. The medication she's taking, eventually that mixed with the crash and the medication that they give her from that mixes, and her organs start shutting down. And they're trying everything they can to save her, and they can't.
She dies?
She dies.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Did not expect that.
Yeah, she dies. And they know they can't do anything, and they all get a chance to say their goodbyes before they turn off the machine, and she dies.
Well, this is a depressing top 5 list.
But it's dramas.
Okay, time out. Not to take anything away from that, because that was kind of a shocker that she died. You've seen way too many movies when you say on the bus, and I keep thinking of the movie Get on the Bus. Every single time you said that, I kept thinking, get on the bus, get on the bus. We have seen way too many movies.
No, that's just because you never ride the bus. You don't know what actually getting on a bus means.
It's OCD. There's too many germs. Ugh. Anyways, that was your number 4?
That was my number 4.
What's your 3?
My number 3 episode of Quantum Leap.
Okay, which one?
Mirror Image.
Which one is that?
The finale.
I was thinking about that one or the Vietnam one with his brother.
Oh.
I was going, and neither of them made my list.
Made the list, yeah.
This might be a record. None of ours have made the list.
Not yet, and I actually don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either.
But it's the last one where if you don't know the story,
Sam.
Scott Bakula is jumping into all these bodies and trying to make the world a better place. Blah blah blah. Well, in this episode, he's in this bar, and so he's trying to figure out the date, and he finds out the day, and it's his birthday. The day he was born, the time he was born is when he entered this bar. And so it's like, and then he looks in the mirror and he sees his own reflection, which he hasn't done for 5 years. So he's trying to figure out what's going on. He's in a small Pennsylvania mining town. So he's, interacting with the miners and the bartender. Bartender played by, what's his name? The guy who played D-Day in Animal House. Okay.
Blank.
Okay. I knew it, and his name just
went
escaped
away.
me. Yeah, but he plays the bartender. The bartender is named Al, who is also his assistant in the show
Throughout the whole series.
The series. The Dean Stockwell character is Al, and the bartender speaks a little cryptically, so it's like something weird is going here. And as it goes on, there's a trouble with the miners, so he feels, I have to be here to help them. So, he does something to kind of help out after, another guy who he's having problems with, they get together and they save him. And then all of a sudden he looks over and notices the other guy, like blue flash electricity goes around and the guy disappears. And he's like, what the hell is that? And it's like, crap, he's a jumper too, or a leaper. So it's like, where is this place? So he finally gets talking to the bartender, and the bartender, and he's like, so who are you, God? You fate or whatever? And it's like, well, whatever you want to believe, And he's like, well, then can you send me home? He goes, you have the power to send yourself home. And he's like, well, then why am I doing this? He goes, well, why did you start the program in the first place? And it's like, because you wanted to help people. And he's like, well, not one person at a time. He's like, then you don't understand what you're doing, because every life you affects all these other lives, and it spirals out. He says, you're doing good, and you can stop it whenever you feel you deserve to stop it. And then they show him, he finally comes to that realization, and he realizes he needs to go back and fix something in his buddy Al's life that he refused to fix earlier, and go back and prevent his love of his life from marrying someone else while he was a prisoner of war. So he goes back and stops that, makes Al's life for the better. And then the next thing you know, they're showing Al with his wife, and they end up having children. And he's like, we can't find him. We don't know where he's at in the leap. And so I like it. A lot of people bitched at,
because the ending is, the credits is, he never returned home.
Yeah, he never returned home and they're like, oh, we want him to have the happy ending. I'm like, it was a happy ending because he was doing what he felt was his life's work. And that's what I loved about that episode.
And he could have gone home. He chose not to.
Yeah, he chose not to go home because there were other things that he felt was more important than his own selfish needs, however.
And we've talked about this before. How do you not put that show back on? Somehow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was reading up on the episode, as I was making the list, they had an alternate ending written because they didn't know if it was going to be the last episode or not. They hadn't been renewed until right before they filmed that episode. So they were going to have another episode, a slightly different ending. It was still going to be the same episode until the very end, where it was going to turn out that Al was going to actually go find him by becoming a leaper.
Oh.
Is what they were going to do.
Interesting.
Is what I read, but
I missed that show on TV. That was a good show.
It was a good show, and I as a finale, I really thought that was a great way to send it out, even though a lot of other people disagreed with me.
Number 3 for me can be interchanged with number 2. I go back and forth on this. I've switched it about 5 or 6 times. Number 3, Opie dying on Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
Jax's best friend, became
friend.
How much vodka is in that cola? He's Jax's best friend, and they're stuck in prison because it's not Sons of Anarchy until they're stuck in prison at least one episode per year.
Yeah.
And I love Sons of Anarchy, one of my favorite shows. But Opie is. Basically the evil warden is there, and they're going to get retribution. Basically, Jax is going to get his ass kicked, probably killed. And Opie saves the day and pushes him back and says, I got this. And Opie has had so much drama in his life, heartbreak. His wife was killed by Jax's stepdad, putting the hit on him, Clay. But obviously Opie didn't know that, Jax did that. Who else did it?
Actually, by then, Opie did know.
Oh, no, he did know. That's right. Opie's dad was killed by Clay.
Yeah.
And then it was just basically chaos. He tried to kill Clay, and Clay didn't die, and Jax wouldn't let him.
Yeah, Jax wouldn't let him
finish him because he needed Clay for something. So basically, this whole time, if people think it's just a motorcycle game, you're not watching it.
Well, like I say, the show was
based on
Hamlet.
Yeah.
So.
Which next season is the last season. This upcoming September. Everyone's going to die, people. Let's just be real. Everyone's dying. But anyway, so Opie pushes Jax back, says, I got this. And at that point, he goes into his room. He puts up a fight amongst 3 or 4 other prisoners. And there's a 2-way mirror. And Jax, and I think it's Tig, are watching Opie get killed, and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, because Jax would have preferred Tig go in there, but he needed to keep Tig alive for something else.
Correct. And Tig's a lot better. It is more humorous.
Well, yeah.
So anyway, he watches his best friend die, and
die in a brutally violent way, too.
Most of the time, you can predict in one way or another someone's going to die.
Yeah.
And that, okay, this character is probably going to die. I did not see Opie dying at all. Took me by surprise. I was watching the episode. I loved the episode. And then, like I said, just seeing him. And then the last 5 minutes of the show is, they're showing the funeral and everything else. And I'm trying to find it here. because I actually have the song that they played. I think it was The Lonely Boy or whatever it is. But I actually downloaded that song because it was just amazing. So,
but you can't play it here because
I'm not playing it here. I'm just trying to find out what it is. Now I've screwed it up. Anyways, so The Lonely Sun, that's what it's called. So there you go. But anyway, so they play that and they just show them putting the casket into the car, and that was it. And I think they burned his jacket, didn't they?
Probably. I
think
remember
they did.
for a fact.
So great show. I love Sons of Anarchy. And that episode, like I said, not only surprised the hell out of me, but, very sad too to watch him die. So there you go. Number 2 is a very old one. And like I said, I go back and forth between Opie and this one. It's from Twilight Zone.
Okay, I see that. I know you're a big fan of Twilight Zone.
1959 to 1960 season. The monsters are due on Maple Street. One of my favorite episodes. Basically, all the lights go out in this street. The neighbors start talking and all that. And basically, it comes to pass that the one neighborhood kid, says, well, I think it's aliens. Nothing's working. Cars aren't working. Nothing's working. And he said, I think it's aliens, because it's always aliens.
It's always aliens.
Because I'm watching...
What is this, the X-Files? It's always aliens.
Always aliens. So he read that comic book that this is what happened. So the neighbors all, whatever, they start, no, this isn't happening, Well, then they start... you get more and more people. They start not thinking rationally. They see this guy walking down the street, and the one guy shoots him, and comes to find out, because they thought it was an alien, it was actually one of their neighbors who earlier in the episode went to get help and would look on the other street, see if their lights were out. Basically, then they started thinking the neighborhood kid, was... in on it, and he was an alien. So then his parents are trying to defend him, and basically it gets more and more commotion, and finally a gunshot rings out, and it just goes apeshit. And they start tearing each other apart, killing each other, basically destroying their own homes and all that. The scene pulls back at the very end, and there's aliens in a spaceship watching the street. And they're like, this is, and it was up to the point, the one alien looks at the other, goes, so this is how we do it? And he goes, street by street, they will do this to each other. And that's what they're doing, town to town. Slowly but surely, they're doing it.
Are these the aliens that were the basis of Kodos and Kang?
No, it may be. Actually, there was 2 of them, and they looked similar. So
because I know they were based on a Twilight Zone episode.
Their ship kind of looks like it. That would not surprise me. I never thought about that. But I love that episode, and just shows, people go nuts when the basic necessities are gone and there's more and more people. So I flip between that and Opie dying. Like I said, I love Twilight Zone, so either of those could work. So there you go. What's your number 2, Jeff?
Number 2, Alias.
Okay.
The episode Phase 1. I think it was halfway through the 2nd season. It was the one that they showed after the Super Bowl, if you remember that one.
No.
Well,
I never watched Alias.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if maybe you... I know you didn't, but I didn't know if you knew, the one after this. Well, if you stuck around after the Super Bowl, the first, 5-10 minutes or so, the introduction for... This is to get people who haven't watched the show. Had, Jennifer Garner dancing around in, lingerie.
I'm intrigued.
And it's this will draw you in. And
you don't see down 13 going on 30.
No, not at all. But yeah, she's doing that, and it was part of her mission. She's trying to seduce somebody and get the codes or something, and it turns out they're in a plane where the guy she's trying to seduce spends his life because he's the keeper of these records or whatever, and he pretty much spends his life in this plane only to stop to refuel and get supplies and the occasional hooker. So her on was to
necessities.
Act like the hooker. So then she got the information, but this was the episode that changed the direction of the show 180. She at the time she was how was it? She was working for a place, thinking she was working for the FBI or CIA, FBI. CIA. They were the CIA. I'm trying to remember
one or the other.
They were the CIA. Yeah. She thought she was working for the CIA, and then, in the pilot, she finds out she really isn't. She's working for the terrorists who make them think it's the CIA. So she finds that out, goes to the CIA with everything she knows, and becomes a double agent. And she's working that whole thing. Well, this is where they take down that bad terror cell.
Okay.
So, two of her best friends that she worked with at the terror cell didn't know they thought they were working for the CIA. So they're now, finding out, you're a double agent and you're doing this. You knew we didn't know. So, all those implications of taking it down. And so all this is going on, which, it's like the show has to take a turn from here. Unfortunately, it took a turn for the worse. But it's like the show has to take a turn from here. And then at the very end, she's talking to her roommate and best friend who knows nothing about the spies or something. She's opening a new restaurant, talking to her on the phone, and say, I'll be there. I'll be, back whenever. And then the camera pans down to her, best friend talking on the phone. It pans down to her real best friend lying dead on the floor with a gunshot between the eyes.
Oh.
And somebody's infiltrating and taking on. And so it's like it opens up all these possible... One door's closing, another one's opening. And being a fan of the show Alias, I think that was my favorite episode. And
okay.
has a lot to do with that.
I heard it was a good series. I just never got into it.
Yeah, it was a good series. You should probably watch it. I got some DVDs if you want to borrow them.
Add it to Veronica Mars.
All right. Yeah, I just finished watching Veronica Mars on DVD, so you do need to see that.
I like Kristen Bell. She's cute.
Oh, yes, she is.
Not as good as Chris Evans, though.
Yeah.
His abs.
His abs.
Oh.
There you go, Amy.
Dreamy.
Dreamy, whatever.
We did more than 5 seconds. That's enough of that. See, we are touching bases for everybody. Female and male. There you go. Right. What's your number one?
My number one, I'm going Breaking Bad.
Okay.
And I'm going with the episode called Dead Freight.
Okay.
Which most people who watch the show will know as the train heist episode. Mm-hmm. It's the last season, and they just started going out on their own, but they don't have enough of the chemical that they need to make it. They find out, this one lady who is a contact or whatever for the cartel they kind of overthrew, knows when this train carries the drug will be when knows the schedule. And also knows that, as they're going through New Mexico, there's like a dead period where, they can't pick them up because they're not near anything. So they come up with this nice, elaborate plot, block the train, get it to stop. Then while they're trying to, help their ally who has this train stopped on get the conductors or engineers to help him with his truck, they're going to simultaneously empty the chemical that they have into a underground container that they dug up. At the same time, fill it back up with water so it weighs the same when they get it in, so they won't even know that it was robbed.
Indiana Jones theory.
Sure.
The sand.
But and they're doing this, and it was just so fun to watch the show. But then when you get to the end of the show, they do all this, they steal the train, the train starts going before they start getting ready because the track gets cleared before they're done. So their last second everything to close it and reseal everything. They finally get it done. They're celebrating. They're happy, and they see this little kid on a dirt bike is watching them, and they're like, "Oh crap!" And one of their new alliance guys pulls out a gun and shoots the kid.
Dear God.
Yeah. And it's like, we didn't want to do this, but I mean, I think that was pretty much the last part to send them down into the spiral. I mean, they were already pretty far along as it was, but that's the one that pretty much, I mean, it obviously, Jesse went crazy because he didn't want to have anything to do with that. And Walt's trying to keep Jesse together because Walt's got his own greedy things. But, I mean, I know there's other people that enjoy other episodes better, but that was the episode for me that made the show.
Isn't it amazing that The Great Train Robbery came out in the early 1900s, the movie? And I remember watching that in film class in college, and it's still, honored.
Referenced.
You got Firefly that did it, Breaking Bad. I mean, and those are only two right off that. I mean, there's 50 to 100 TV shows that have done it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting that even something back then, which is, I guess, good, better than the KKK movie that came out, Birth of a Nation.
Birth of
Let's
a Nation.
not honor that one.
Yeah, we don't want to have the Klansmen saving the day anymore.
Of the two, they picked the right one to a great train robbery. And also, a little correction on the song that I was referring to. It is called The Lost Boy by Greg Holden, Holden. Great song. So there you go.
So look it up, and then you'll know what Jason's talking about.
There you go. I was just trying to be correct.
Oh, no, we don't want to give false information.
That's right.
So, all right, Jay, you're number one.
Take a guess. What do you think my number one is?
Oh, I was guessing it was going to be Twilight Zone, so now I'm a little confused.
If you pick one more.
Firefly.
Fringe.
Oh, yes, I should have known that.
This one was tough because I rewatched most of this episode while doing this list. The series finale, and it had one of my favorite things, and I don't care. I'll be proud to say it. I cried at this one because I love this show, and there were some goofy parts to it. But the last episode, they're trying to stop the observers, the aliens, basically, from taking over the world. They had to jump back in time and all that, and it goes on. Basically, Walter, Peter's dad, realizes that there's this observer kid, and he's the key to everything. And, he realizes Walter is the one that has to go into the future in 2015, past 2015, and basically take care of this kid. But by doing so, he's going to become an anomaly along with the kid. So he's basically never going to be known. He's going to be gone. And then there's a lot of all time travel things. There's kind of some gray areas, but basically Peter understands. His son realizes that he will never remember. He probably will not remember his dad and the adventures that they had recently. So, anyways, this whole big thing happens. The best part is Olivia and Peter break into the Observer's main base, and the little creatures and any monster of the week that occurred in this whole series up until that point, not all of them, but some of the major ones, they release onto the observers. So it was the observers were the ones that were doing it to the humans, and now it's kind of a payback. Here, fuck you, take these succubuses that are killing us and all this other stuff. So that was cool.
I need to stop you there. I think the plural is succubi.
Succubi. Sorry. I don't think that was what they were called in the show either.
Oh, okay.
But leeches to the face, all this stuff. And you just saw the observers in pain. After 5 years, you're like, yes, torture them, torture these observers. So anyways, the greatest thing though is Walter. They open this time warp, and one of Walter's friends is like, actually, I can do this. I can take this kid in the future. You don't have to. And then he gets killed.
Okay.
So then Walter's like, I have to do it now. And it's this big shootout. And the portal is opening. And he looks at the kid, and he's like, let's go. And he says something. This was actually a little bit before this, though. He tells Peter earlier, because they never had a good bond, obviously, because Walter was a little nuts and all this stuff. And he looks at him and he says, you are my favorite thing, Peter. My very favorite thing. And my God, is that, if you watch that show for 5 years, you're just like, oh my God, that's beautiful.
It sounds creepy to me.
No.
Oh, it's done in a beautiful way.
Yes. And see, it even makes me sad now. Jesus.
Tearing up. If you can see it, he's got tears coming out the corner.
So the reason why is everything Walter has done, he's always been obsessed with science and all this, and it comes to find out that of all these things that he's done, his favorite thing is obviously his son. And Peter does say dad in it, which he's never done in the whole series. Walter finally gets his partners, or one of his helper assistants, Astrid, who works with Olivia. He finally says her name right, because he never did up until that point.
You'll call her Astrid?
He used to say all different names. And so there's nothing better. When we did this list, that was my number one right off the top. Love it from top to bottom. And now I have to go buy the whole series, damn it.
Yeah, you do, so I can borrow it and watch it.
It is good. If you stuck with it, there were some rough moments, but if you stuck with it, it was well worth it, especially the series finale. So there you go. There's our top 5 drama episodes of the week. Ready for a bad idea?
All right, what bad idea this week?
Number 27.
Ooh, a high one.
Making a bet with a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Wow, that is a bad idea.
Taking that from Princess Bride.
Yes. if you didn't get the reference, I'm sorry we have to.
Well, you should never make a bet with a Sicilian
when death is on the line.
Correct. Unless you did you got a immunity to iocane powder.
Should I throw it out there? I'm assuming if that's 27, up above that has to be don't get involved in a land war in Asia.
Correct. That probably is 26.
Okay.
That's a twofer.
Twofer.
So if you're keeping these numbers at home, first off, email them to us so we can write these down. I gotta go through the whole list. And so there you go. That's another episode. So Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
You are now leading the world of Musings of a Geek podcast network. Stay geeky, my friends.